Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of D2C Insights. With me today is Vishesh Khurana, co-founder Shiprocket, with Ankur Bhatia, founder of Jimmy's Cocktails. Let's take a look at how they've built their business together with Shiprocket, enabling Jimmy's Cocktails delivery needs and need for speed. So let me start with you, Ankur. So speed is the key word these days with grocery to furniture. Everything requires speed now. Customers are more and more impatient. And it also seems that faster deliveries can raise up to 75% of your sales. So tell us how you went about this with Jimmy's Cocktails products.
Well, we launched in I don't know, we launched in 2019, and at the time this was pre-COVID, and we were still trying. We were still a very retail-focused brand, and that's how Jimmy's Cocktails was launched because all data had attributed that 95% of beverage category in India was non-e-commerce. E-commerce only contributed 5% to the category. So for you to be of a scale brand, you could not miss out on retail. So that's how we started. It's only during March when the first lockdown happened, when almost everything got shut down, is when we actually pivoted to a D2C business. Although I think the category for us, being an impulse product, impulse category, is still works better on a faster delivery mode, which is why currently our growth is much higher to in the quick commerce platforms, and we are omnipresent in all. So the Zeptos and the Blinkits and the Swiggy Instamart. But we still call ourselves a D2C first brand because over time, what we've realized is that that D2C is not only an enabler of sales. Yes, sales are important, but direct to consumer business gets a lot of benefits like sampling, like data, like consumer understanding, ability to speak to consumers first. And in those things, I think we since we moved to the Ship Rocket platform, I think our business is really growing.
So tell us about how the partnership with Shiprocket began. How did you arrive at Shiprocket in the first place? And then, was it difficult? Was it relatively easy to speak the same language in terms of you as a brand and your needs versus how Shiprocket operates? Tell us through how the relationship was built.
I think we didn't move first to Shiprocket, so which is why I have an experience of working now with most providers, or at least seasoned providers. We went to the one of the key delivery partners in India, which is Delivery. We started working with them directly. Then we moved to a newer startup, which is in the same space as Shiprocket, a platform. Right? It is only when we started seeing a little scale, we realized that our needs were only fulfilled or could be fulfilled as it stands today from the Shiprocket platform. Because uh, we would have required to put a lot of manpower to actually do a lot of things. And where I think the Shiprocket technology platform takes care of a lot. So we have a small team, and that using the Shiprocket platform is able to do a lot more than what we found ourselves doing with the previous platform. So in terms of in terms of managing our RTOs or engaging with the customers, speaking to them, a lot of those attributes which are essential to any direct to commerce business are actually pre-built into the Shiprocket platform. And I think from there, I think we've moved to their platform, I don't think we've looked back.
Okay. Thank you for that. Vishesh, from your end, of course, the Shiprocket experience is across sectors, and it's a very versatile mix of customers that you have. But for Jimmy's Cocktails, the need for speed was amplified by the fact that this is also a potentially perishable product, right? So there certainly needs to be some customization in your strategy to be done here. So tell us how you managed to do this for Ankur, and what are the key steps or challenges in the process to arrive at this solution.
Sure. No, I think the solution starts with identifying the product first, whether it is perishable slash fragile, and then designing the supply chain accordingly, which starts with choosing the right partner who could handle the who also has those processes in place, then putting those products into a separate cordon of area in a warehouse, which is now the people are trained to handle fragile products, and then also moving those products the fastest we can to avoid the perishability of it. So delivering it to the end customer as fast as we can, and also delivering the previous ones first, than those comes later. So the dates can be managed. I think those SOPs are helping us help brands like Jimmy's Cocktail in executing that perishable product deliveries across the country.
Okay. How much does F&B currently account for in your clients' portfolio, and do you expect it to rise?
So it depends on how we define F&B. I think most of the snackable and non-perishable brands also fall under the same bucket, and those account to almost today, if I'm not wrong, about 10 to 15% of the business. And the category is growing. People are innovating every day. We are coming out with newer products. We're coming out with category focused products. With some are for toddlers, some are for kids, some are for different product people who like different kind of products. So the category is definitely growing, and we do expect it to grow.
And so that would entail a higher investment in cold chain infrastructure also for you, right?
Yes. So the cold chain store infrastructure is also divided into two parts. One is the not the frozen cold chain, but the temperature controlled ones. I think those we are already prepared for. The frozen ones, I think, is something that we might look at later on in the journey.
Okay. Can you offer some detail about how exactly you went about the solution for Jimmy's cocktail step by step from from the first meeting onwards to the final solution? What were there must be unique facets in this partnership. So give us a little insight on how the planning was done and how you worked together.
No, I think it started with identifying the packaging. It's when you understand it's glass bottles, and but a lot is also done at the brand's end because the packaging is designed appropriately to handle a lot of supply chain processes. But at our end also, just ensuring the right people and right partners are chosen for this particular movement just helps us execute it more easily. But I think a lot depends on the packaging quality. That's also done at the brand's end because that will help a lot in managing
Right.
the whole process.
Okay. So fast fulfillment, according to many analysts, can bring about a reduction in CPA from anywhere to 10 to 50%. So, Ankur, how does that work for you? Are you seeing numbers that kind of reflect that thought?
Oh, yeah, I think absolutely. Categories like ours, thankfully, we're not a perishable product. We have a 12-month shelf life. We are a fragile bottle product. So this bottle is pretty fragile. So Vishesh is right. This challenge is at both ends. The brand has to solve it, as well as we need help with the Shiprocket's team to ensure that the right partners are picking it up. If there are issues arising, and which they will arise, is the customer service team escalating it fast enough? The resolutions are faster. So those are the benefits that you get from a Shiprocket, where the challenges will always be there. It's the resolutions of it which are faster, which actually eventually improve your return RTO percent. But definitely we're seeing a huge surge on quick commerce. We're probably one of the largest selling beverage brand on Swiggy, Instamart right now. Zeptos, Blinkits. In fact, yesterday I saw that uh, Zeptos has created categories called vodka mixers, whiskey mixers, rum mixers on their platform. So just tells you that how much demand is there for the categories for an operator to start actually classifying their
Right,
on their app
right.
itself. I think it was a pilot program, but I could see it on the app that they've already started listing their sections like this. So obviously there's huge demand. But with this, I foresee the next step, and that's something we're working with the Shiprocket team, Vishesh and team, is to how the next phase you will see is how D2C brands will also start delivering in 15 minutes. And those models requires operators, possibly even closely working with the likes of Swiggy's or the Zomatos of the world, and a dark store operator, so that brands can able to shelf their product, store their product in more number of geographies. I think that's possibly something Shiprocket, as the leader in the industry, is closely working at, and that's the next problem that will get solved. So yeah, next time you order your favorite cocktail mixer or coffee, or even Pepsi for that matter, you'll probably have it from their website in 15 minutes. That's where the future is headed.
Okay, Vishesh, this same thought, but from your side. So, how you're advising brands and companies that the speed of fulfillment is a very key determinant of reduction in CPA. How are you communicating this to them?
I think the brands understand it. It's not us who are driving this. They understand the requirement of it. The customers are getting impatient every day. And now it's on the execution front. The execution starts with demand planning. If you can, start with, analyzing the patterns on geographically where the demand pockets are for which particular product, that is when you can actually actively store the right SKUs in the right geographies. Once that is done, the end delivery or the last mile becomes a little easier because now we have the infrastructure available across to execute that. We have rider networks, we have partners, we have different companies who are executing this. The last mile becomes easier. The challenge is about demand planning and right stocks at the right place. If that part one can solve, uh, it's happening now.
Okay, finally, what are the big trends that you see in terms of fulfillment innovation in the D2C space? Ankur kind of already kind of touched upon it, but Vishesh, if you could just point out to very sharply two, three, four specific things that you see happening.
See, there's three, four things. One, of course, like I started earlier with demand planning, is a lot of technology and AI will go into doing automation in demand planning. Then the other kind of activities, I think a lot is now need to happen in picking process into a warehouse. So inside warehouse operations, the picking process, reducing time on picking will become the very, very big element when you want to deliver products in a things like 10-minute, 30-minute time frames, right? Uh, so a lot of innovation and a lot of technology in terms of placements, picking, and some physical automation might not also start showing up very, very soon in how soon can the products be picked and packed into inside the warehouse. That will define the speed. I think these are three, four things I see happening very, very fast. And also the culture or the new strategies of having smaller but lot of warehouses will become very, very prominent coming future.
So you see the entire all the functions within supply chain becoming more and more and more granulated, right? With
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay,
And
Ankur,
Absolutely.
would you
adding
like
to
to?
that, you had mentioned, I think, you touched on the subject on delivering frozen goods and perishable goods, right? That it's right now is a big challenge. D2C brands are not able to cater to that, but I think it will get solved. It has to. If the Mumbai Dabbawalas could do it in their time without any technology, I think there is enough intellectual capital and financial capital available to solve that problems. So you'll see a big trend coming in terms of having packaged frozen low shelf life products, which do not contribute much to today, but will eventually come.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Vishesh and Ankur, for all those insights. It's been a great conversation. Very quick conversation, but a lot of insights here. Thank you so
No,
much for
thank
your
you, sir.
time. Thank
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 you.
you,
you.
Nupur. Thanks, Vishesh, everybody.
Bye.